Welcome to Let's Play Two Worlds 2. Now in order to get through this, because there's so much going on, I'm going to just talk and let you watch the video. And now the video is going to show you lots of features of this which I won't be talking about. So you'll just pay attention and you'll get information from the video and information from me. Now this is a light years improvement over Two Worlds 1. In fact, this game has the potential to beat Skyrim for gameplay, if it wasn't for the fact it was a third person view only game and the controls were crap. Them two things are major faults really for a game. So when you're running along and you're trying to get precise control like you expect on a PC game and you end up turning 45 degrees, you know these people that did it for console users, although I haven't seen any console support in it. But it feels like a console game for the controls. Thankfully, they do a half-assed attempt at allowing you to disable these controls, so it works more like a PC game. But this is what I've done here, by the way, in this. But it's still not enough. It still falls way short of what we expect from PC games. Now, what you're seeing in here is the skills screen, and as you can see, you've got categories. And you unlock these by finding books, skill books, and when you click on them they unlock the skill and allow you to add points to them. And like for instance, if I add points to my fire skill, by elemental fire, that means my fire spells are that much better. You see, that's how it works. Same with all the others for the weapon skills and the backstab skills and stuff like that. So there's another thing as well, when you're walking around, and you'll see this in sneak mode, the character has a dagger in his hand. You can't literally use the dagger in combat. It's a special device in this game. So when you're actually creeping along or sneaking along, whatever weapon you're carrying gets put down and the dagger gets picked up. So when you see a dagger that's got a really good damage, keep it, because you'll be able to do a backstab attack with it. Now this game cries out for characters to specialise, or for the player to specialise in characters. As you see, I'm specialised in a fire mage, but I also do other spells, like I've got a necromancer staff there, and I do some necromancer spells as well, and earth spells and other things. But it's mainly a fire mage. But if you wanted to be a thief or a rogue or something, this game has the support for it, almost certainly. I'm going to show you one of the fences in a minute. It doesn't have very good fence support really. For instance, there's very limited. You can basically empty a person's house and they won't say anything. Only occasionally will they give you a really hard stare, and that's about it. So it isn't anywhere near as developed as Oblivion in that area, but it just blows Oblivion away and every other Elder Scrolls game in other areas. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts. Like this scene here always reminds me of Assassin's Creed. Anyway, here we go. We're going to see a sneaking scene now. I'm going to sneak across and then do this switch. Now, this is a mission I had to do. If I was a proper sneaky character, I'd obviously be dressed differently. But I'm a mage, so I'm doing it in my mage dress. Now, there's a switch on there. I'll sneak up to it and click it. Now, if you notice, I've got a knife in my hand, which means I can do a backstab attack if someone was to get in my way. The other thing you'll see here is that some of the environments, like the cities, which you're looking at here, they're just gorgeous. I just haven't seen anything this good looking in a long time in these RPG games. And I'm really glad to see The Outsider, the game that everybody didn't expect to be any good, to come out and just be so stunning basically, because it is. And like I said, if it wasn't for the controls being a third person console type affair, this game would be absolutely brilliant. Now here you're going to see a cave level. Now you don't really get the sensation of what it's like being there playing it in a video, because you get all the detail dumped down to the screen resolution of YouTube, but trust me, these caves are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's so many colours going on, and the best thing is this is a DirectX 10 game. It'll run in DirectX 9 mode, but it's a DirectX 10 game. And most of the scenes you see here, with the exception of one, were filmed in DirectX 10 mode. So you see in the DirectX 10 version of the game here, although in this screen size you're probably not going to get much benefit. But DirectX 10 usually means dynamic lighting. And if you look at the torches, in some of the scenes. They actually give off heat plumes, which makes the air vibrate a little bit and the background shimmer, which is actually quite clever. As you can see, there's quite a lot of cutscenes in this to move the story along, but there's more cutscenes to allow you to get to know the characters involved, and they're not too long and they're not too boring. Usually when you get a cutscene game, they just throw cutscenes at you even when they're not necessary, and it just bores you shitless, so you never want to play the game again. In this particular game, the cutscenes aren't long enough for you to be annoyed by them if you played it twice. They're just about the right level and give just about the right amount of information, and if you want to skip them, you can. It doesn't force you to sit down and watch them half the time. In this one, you're seeing an army of something like crystal golems being formed. It's a cutscene, of course. Anyways, the game itself has some of the best crafting systems I've seen. You know, creating spells and everything else. By the way, this scene here I filmed just to be silly because I hate the third person view. So I'm going to let you use your imagination and decide what I'm doing down there. Best time I actually saw this, I was just pissing myself laughing. But anyway, the crafting system in the game is second to none. You not only can mix, you get cards, you know, like Magic the Gathering cards, but the spell effects, and you mix them to create your spells, which means you've got such a wide variety of spells you can cast. Like here, these are summon spells I'm casting, and I made these out of different cards. I could mix and match and add to the effects and make these stronger or weaker or whatever else. So I mean, it's a really good system. It's the same with alchemy, and it's also the same with weapon crafting. And also you can merge gems, and you can add effects to various, you know, things. You can upgrade your armour by dismantling other armour and using the parts to make your existing armour tougher. It's really, really good. There's nothing, I've never seen anything like that in a roleplay game until now, so it works quite well. And the other thing to know, especially if you're a mage character, them staffs all come in the type of, you know, they're named after the mages that are supposed to carry it. That's a fire staff, so it gives me massive bonuses on fireballs, but not so good for necromancer spells. And them skeletons, that's a necromancer summon spell, where the golems, that's an earth summon spell. So as you can see, I can summon earth, well, I can cast earth and necromancer spells from a fire staff. I just miss out on the bonuses. Now I've got a fire mage hat, a fire mage cloak, or robe, and a fire mage staff there, and so I get lots of bonuses for fire. This is why you'll see me using fireballs a lot. But what you see here is the stuff I've summoned attacking what is basically a large scorpion. They're the Dark Knights summons that I summoned there. They're really cool they are as well. Now here we've got the golems and some fishy type people I've summoned to attack what is basically a stone sentinel. They're really tough, these stone sentinels. And here, see, you get some really, really good bad guys. I mean, they're just really gorgeous, and the levels, they're just really convincing. I mean, look at this. I mean, that's the inside of a tomb, and it looks the part, doesn't it? You know, it's just brilliant. You can't fault the level designers in this, really. They all look brilliant. The only thing I'd say is, though, and it's not really a criticism, it's really how the game works, is most of the levels are locked at first because they're all used by quests. So you find a character, they'll offer you a quest that will send you to a place, and that door will suddenly be available and open. So you don't really get the chance to dungeon delve in this. You can explore the world as far as it'll let you, until you reach a certain point in the plot, then it opens up new areas. So it isn't completely free, but the areas that are available to you, you can go anywhere you want and do quests in the order you want and speak to people. Now, unlike Oblivion, where you do a quest, you click on a bit of text on the side and it goes, I need you to fetch me some blah blah blahs, and then you go back and it says thank you. Every single quest I've seen in this has been put together properly. You've got a kind of well-made package. Now, I spent 19 hours playing this, doing nothing but quests the entire time, and I still didn't touch or scratch the surface So where you're missing out on you know, the free roaming aspect, there's just so many quests in here. Even Morrowind's quests can't match them. Morrowind's got a lot of quests, as you know, but compared to this, it might as well be a 5-minute game. Only problem with this game is, though, as far as I know, there isn't that many. Well, I don't think there's any modding system for it, so you're not going to get any mods for it. And if you do, they're going to be hex edit mods, I believe. Hopefully that'll change, but to be honest, I think this game stands up quite well on its own, except for the controls. Now you're going to see a picture of the map at some point, hopefully, if I haven't already been up, and it shows you a really large area, you know, which remains completely uncovered or covered up. And me, I'm just working a tiny area in this, and the area you saw at the beginning, you know, with the on the map, that was where I did my 19 hours, and as you can see, that's just a tiny fraction of the world. Now this is a cave. Now if it looks nice on the video, it's 100 times better actually in the game. And another thing as well, I recorded this in over 2000 by 1900 in a screen res, and it was silky smooth, although they do cap the frame rates at about 30. But this game runs really, really well, even in high screen modes. It doesn't cause too much heat. Well, that could be a side effect of Directx 10 optimization, to be honest. But I mean, it is quite fluid and smooth even in high resolution, so you can just go crazy and whack all the detail up, you know. It's actually quite good that way. The spells, as you can see, they're fairly easy to cast, you know, it's all done the same action. It's a bit harder to use the staff to attack things. It's a combination of left and right mouse button, 2 buttons, but you don't always get the action you want when you click them, because that's part of the problem with the controls. They're a bit crappy in that area. Now here you've got the equipment thing. You can break them down or upgrade them or sell them, you know, what you see in there. They're the various staffs for the various mages, and this is your upgrade, your craft screen where you upgrade it, but I haven't got all the ingredients there to upgrade that staff, so I can't do it. But you've also got colours to change the colour of your armour there, the inks you get in the game. Now you get different level staffs as well, from initiates through to master for each of the mages, so there's plenty of staffs, and the designs of the armour and the weapons and everything are just outstanding. The characters in the game are really well done, and your character, the character you play, whilst you haven't got much choice in how you design the character, you just got a few basic parameters, right? Your voice on it sounds like the guy from The Witcher and a couple of other games, so they've obviously hired some of the voice actors that are doing the rounds in other games for this. Now this bit you're seeing here is actually a boss, but you're not seeing much of it, and that's on purpose because I don't really want you, I don't want to spoil it for you. Now here, this is a tomb level again, and this is more these stone sentinels. And you can see, I mean, this is really authentic, and it's the light bouncing around with the area effects fireball I'm casting. I made this spell. It's basically a modified fireball. I've added an area effect to it, so when it hits, it explodes, and that's what's causing the thing to bounce around. Here's another cutscene. One of the characters you see a lot. See, these scenes here, you know, tell you the story. I mean, they're not very long, but they're just long enough to keep the thing going. I don't really understand how people can attack the story in this, because considering it's an open world and you can do more or less what you want until the, well, once the doors are open, right? It does seem a bit odd to say, well, it's got no clearly defined story, because the world isn't clearly defined. So I think they kind of missed the point there. They're probably thinking of Mass Effect, where everything's just linear, and this isn't linear, it's more dynamic. Anyhow, this is a really, really good game, except for the controls. It's surprisingly good, and the levels are just gorgeous. So if you're thinking of getting it, I really recommend you do. This, you know, this actually says that 2 Worlds Free, if there is one, will be a game to watch out for, because this is such an improvement over the first one that it can't be ignored. Right. Ta-ra!